What a complete scumbag Andrew Cuomo is. Absolutely, unequivocally the worst governor in New York. There should be a class action lawsuit for anyone who lost a relative in a nursing home in New York. You should sue the ever-loving out of this guy. This guy is a complete ghoul, a lying, manipulative vampire. This person does not deserve to be in office any longer. He should be impeached. He should be censured. This is a report from the New York Times, hardly a conservative outlet, that is claiming that there is now evidence directly from Cuomo's people that Andrew Cuomo held up data on the nursing home deaths in New York. A little background on this. There was an order, a ghoulish order by cretins like Cuomo, but other governors across the country that ordered the sickest people during the coronavirus pandemic to be shoved into nursing homes. That is obviously exactly the opposite of what you need to do during a viral outbreak. The population in nursing homes are the most susceptible to this kind of a sickness. It's going to kill them, and it's precisely what happened. When the Trump administration asked for the numbers of deaths from nursing homes, it turns out that Cuomo's team hid those numbers from federal investigators. Why? Because they didn't want the press fallout. They didn't want the bad media. They didn't want to be seen as the incompetent, murderous bastards that they are. I'm going to read you a little bit of this New York Times article. Check this out. Governor Andrew Cuomo and his top aides were facing new allegations Friday that they covered up the scope and death toll of the state's nursing homes from the coronavirus after admissions that they withheld data in an effort to forestall potential investigations into state misconduct. Yes, the latest revelations came in the wake of private remarks by the governor's top aide. The top aide, she knows what she's talking about, Melissa De La Rosa, in a cascading series of reports and court orders that have nearly doubled the state's official toll for nursing home deaths in the last 2 weeks. The disclosures have left Mr. Cuomo, a third-term Democrat, scrambling to contain the political fallout as lawmakers of both parties called a censure, including stripping the governor of his emergency powers during the pandemic, federal and state investigations, and resignations of Ms. De Rosa and other top officials. This is an unbelievable story. It proves true what many conservatives were saying for weeks and months and better part of last year, that this state is withholding evidence, has criminally mismanaged nursing homes, and has led to we're complicit in the death of innocent Americans through their own malfeasance and through their own orders. So this is laid bare. This is what it is. Andrew Cuomo's orders killed Americans, literally killed his people. His people in New York, the most vulnerable population, were killed by Andrew Cuomo. Then they were covered up by his administration. This isn't crazy talk, guys. This is the New York Times, okay? So if anyone's going to report this video, whatever, this is the New York Times. This is being covered on national news. This is legitimate, unbelievable copy here. Read this. The news of Ms. De Rosa's remarks sparked fury and anger and denunciations, including from Mr. Cuomo's fellow Democrats. So now you have Democrats in New York breaking with Cuomo. This is a betrayal of the public trust, State Senator Andrew Giortes said, a Democrat from Brooklyn. Sorry, I think I butchered that last name. There needs to be a full accountability of what happened. Condemnations were even louder from Republicans who seized on Mr. Cuomo's performance in nursing homes. There were more than 10,000 New Yorkers. 10,000 New Yorkers died during the pandemic in nursing homes. 10,000. Many cities across America don't have 10,000 people in them. This is entire towns that are being wiped out by negligence, by malicious, murderous negligence. And there's no other way to say it. There's no other way to state it. The direct actions of the governor led to the death of Americans and of his people, and the cover-up is even worse because that forestalled a federal investigation. So what you're going to have is obstruction of justice there. It's just disgusting. These people are so concerned about their own public image, and were so concerned about owning Trump and about getting Trump out of the White House that they were willing to let their citizens die. That's my opinion. They were willing to let the citizens of their state die. That is I mean, the number one thing in public trust is security. Security for your own people. That's the first thing. I talk to a lot of candidates. I talk to a lot of politicians. The first thing is, are your constituents safe? Are your people safe? Have you protected them? Of course you haven't, if you are Andrew Cuomo. Of course you haven't. This was all 100% negligence. This happened because of his order. And now this cover-up is breaking news in the New York Times of all places and is all over in every outlet. This is not a conspiracy theory. This isn't crazy. This is literally criminal. And I hope that people go to jail. And the first person that deserves to go to jail and be completely investigated is Andrew Cuomo. Absolute ghoul, a vampire of a person who was happy to let Granny die as long as he was able to write his own book, get himself an Emmy, and make a pretty little poster about how awesome he is. What a scumbag. If you're in New York, you should be demanding that this guy resign and then that a federal prosecutor put him in jail. That's all I got, guys.